Six Gun Productions. New media, new rules.
This is Geek News Radio. Broadcast 45 for Monday, September 4th, 2017. Sigmarines and Twig people.
Let's do this. Woefully unprepared.
I just ninja a fly. Oh, fuck you.
What?
Sorry, there's a fly flying around. I just tried to slap it Obama style, but it didn't work.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard the laughing. That was
Obama
good.
style. Did you say that?
Yeah, because Obama killed the fly. Because Bush dodged the shoe, and then Obama killed the fly, and there's controversy about him. I should have caught the fly and released it or something. Man, Obama.
Obama and the fly?
Everybody's googling Obama.
Killing fly. Google thinks it's a thing. Obama kills fly during interview.
You know, honestly, don't remember that. See, anything after that, mate, would make Trump just appalling. Oh, wait.
Trump would probably have eaten it. In fly.
Trump would have probably given it a job.
Well, that, yeah. Press secretary.
And then fired it about 3 minutes later.
Oh, that would be good. Okay, I'll start.
Bam! You got it. Nailed it.
God.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, just tell me when you're ready. And,
I'm ready. I'm ready.
God. Google keeps. How do I turn this fucking assistant off? If I say okay, it keeps okay. Keeps thinking I'm talking to it. Shit. Okay.
It's Clippy reincarnated.
It is. Really is.
So you're trying to record a podcast.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's try this. You're listening to Geek News Radio episode 45. I'm Fab in Hamburg.
I'm Dave in Birmingham.
I'm Mike in Scaries.
I'm Joe in Dundee.
That sounds so good. We're all where we're supposed to be.
Yeah, we're back. It's been a while.
They fixed this internet.
I've hopefully fixed my internet by getting an entirely new connection, router, and cables and switch. So hopefully it should all be fixed.
Hashtag Fiber for Dave.
Hashtag Fiber for Dave is in operation. It works. It's really fast and it's really good. It's good. I'm happy, pleased.
Okay,
I'd buy that.
Fiber for Dave.
I'd give any money for Ellie to just pull out the cable at some point during this podcast.
Oh, God. Don't give her any ideas. She will do it.
No, because she's probably going to end up playing Guild Wars halfway through this. So
okay.
Disconnecting the internet would be bad for both of them.
Well, but now your internet connection can stand both. That's good.
It should do, yeah.
We will find out. Anyway, the most important topic of this show, what are we drinking? I'll start. I'm drinking a Ratsherren Pale Ale from Hamburg.
How do you spell that?
Ratsherren. Ratsherren.
Excellent.
Ratsherren.
I have an old-fashioned. It's made with Jim Beam because, it was on the Crate and Crowbar episode 200. They talked about the first episodes, and I think Tom went back and listened to the first one and was drinking old fashions then, but with more expensive whiskey. And then he worked out you could buy cheaper whiskey and it tasted just as good. And he's not wrong. It's quite good.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's so he was drinking Bullet whiskey, which is what I had before.
That's a bourbon, like Jim Beam.
It's all the same.
Aren't
shit,
you
man.
going to Scotland next week?
Yes, I am.
You better get that straight before you go there.
I'd be careful, laddie. I'd be careful.
It's rye whiskey. It's got an E, it doesn't have an E.
Well,
It's
the
made
normal
of
Bullet
rye.
is bourbon. There's a rye variant, but yeah.
Yeah, the rye one is what I was using. I think that's the one they were using. And then he was like, use Jim Beam. And I have, and it's good. I enjoy these. They're very strong.
Right.
I'm drinking a Hobgoblin Traditionally
Ah,
crafted legendary ruby beer.
oh, that's
Very
so good.
choice.
From the fridge.
No,
Oh.
please no.
I still haven't upgraded my room. Reminded
Oh,
me.
Fab, you bought the apartment but didn't spend anything on kitting it out.
Well,
So
I don't have space right now. I'm still sitting in the middle of boxes. So I've been eyeing fridges at the hardware store, though, like small under desk fridges.
Well, I'm drinking a unglamorous cup of tea because I don't drink.
You're special. The cup. You're like the Dan of the show.
I will take that as a compliment. I can deal with that.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, we should sound great. I hopefully like I'm compressing all of you together.
That's so wrong.
in the same space.
Doesn't sound so wrong to me.
Virtually, yes. You're all coming
We'll all
in.
be sausages.
Yep, you're all being pushed through one cable, but it should be good. Yeah, so I need a fridge. I know. We moved, and then I had my birthday, so I didn't want to unpack anything, right? I was gonna have some fun, and that was good. And then the next weekend, well, then I went to Gamescom for a week, and then I went to wedding. And now this weekend's going to be horrible. I'll be moving boxes all weekend. And that's my excuse why I have no progress when we'll talk about Vier Feldherren later.
I think you have a bit up your sleeve. I've seen stuff on Twitter. There something.
Well, yeah. I've done some stuff before I moved. It's still all in bubble wrap, though. I can see it over there. I don't know if it's all broken. It's right now. It's Schrödinger's minis.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Surely.
If they're both broken and unbroken, does that mean they're both painted and unpainted until you tell us?
that as well, yes.
So Fab's both done the most and the least.
Oh, wow.
I did all the
Quantum bullshit.
I put all the good stuff into the I've got a Peli case, like one of these really hardcore traveling cases that they use for stage stuff, and I put like tons of bubble wrap in there, so I built my own KR multi case basically.
Nice, yeah. I got some more battle foam because my previous layers of foam were entirely packed. Lots of things like just crammed in there, and then I've just filled it with more Ultramarines.
Of course you have.
Yeah, I've got lots and lots. I've got space for some like medium-sized stuff, like probably Primaris Marines will fit in there, but I've not picked any of those up yet because that's a slippery slope.
Oh, talk to me about slippery slopes. Oh, it's plastic crack, like it really is. Because
so have you bought more things?
Well, it was my birthday recently.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was in the position where you know how it is being a person with particular interests. Usually, if you don't tell your family and friends what it is you want, you're gonna get socks or like a new pair of slippers or something.
I'm okay with that. I'll happily have new slippers.
Yeah,
I love getting socks.
You are the mega slippers, so yeah, okay, fair enough. For you, that's okay, but I made sure, like, my dad was just like, oh, I'll just, transfer you some money so you can buy. I was like, okay, no problem. Then 2 seconds later, in the Games Workshop, and I got the prized Storm Raven gunship.
Is that the new one?
I don't think so, but the reason why I like this one is that it has basically enough space for 5 jump pack Marines.
Oh yeah, they haven't redesigned that, right? Yeah.
So basically, my Death Company squad, Chaplain and Death Company Dreadnought can now be transported in this flyer, which is a proper gunship. It has
bolters on the side, right?
Yeah, hurricane bolters, twin-linked assault cannons, twin multi-melter missiles. Yeah, it's really kitted out. So
are you gonna paint it black?
I'm really debating internally what the hell to do, because it would be really cool, but then it's like it will always be my death company that'll be transported with it.
Mm.
Um,
You
I'm-
need
I'm
to
willing to-
magnetize the paint.
yes, it'll be like a breakthrough in quantum mechanics or something like that. Yeah, I just needed to sort out that paint problem. So
If you could buy like the thermochromic paint, so that like you just heated it up to make it go red. So like
So I come to the Warhammer tournaments and they're like, "Why are you bringing a Bunsen burner?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll show you."
yeah, you could have like a little like heating element in the like middle of it, so it heats up the model enough to make the paint change color, but not enough to melt it. This sounds like it could go really, really, really badly.
It sounds like it could really go really, really, really fun.
Yeah.
I think if you buy your own Stormraven, Dave, to experiment, then I'll be happy to take up your solution. Figure it out.
Oddly, I actually own a Stormraven.
Oh,
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
Have you
my,
painted
my orcs have a Storm Battle Raven wagon. It's great. It's got you know how it goes up at the back. It's got Chimera tracks there, and where the back foot rests are.
Mm-hmm.
And it's got the Chimera bulldozer thing on the front.
It's a
great.
gunship with a bulldozer blade.
Oh no, it's not flying. It's a battle wagon.
Oh
So
right.
it's basically that plonked on top of a tank. It looks great. Love it.
So they found a crashed Stormraven and made a.
Yes, found. Sure.
yeah. It's like, nobody wants this,
Nobody wants this thing that's flying through the sky and occupied. It's fine.
Awesome. That's good. I like that. That is great.
Yeah, in this week's episode of Joe Paints While Podcasting, I am building a Hemlock Wraithfighter.
Oh God, I have to Google those.
So this is for the commission, right?
Yeah.
How much more of that do you have to do? Because you posted some photos on the Discord and it looked pretty good.
That is the start. That is the first test model for the whole thing.
So lots and lots and lots more.
Oh yes.
Oh, so the the hemlock is the thing that looks like what's that Zarp plane? You know?
the
Vigan?
the new super fighter.
Or maybe a bit more like the Eurofighter.
Plane nerd time. I think it is the Eurofighter.
Yeah. No, I meant
because the Eurofighter has the front winglet things.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I meant the Zarp Vigan, but it's
not
similar.
I have to say
definitely Eurofighter.
The Eldari variant is a lot more tastier, I have to say. Looks really nice.
Which one's that? The Crimson
Wraith-
Hunter?
What am I looking at? I'm on the web store.
Of
Yeah,
course he
Hemlock
is.
Yes.
Don't buy things, Mike. Don't do it.
Oh, it's yeah. I'd nearly say it's already too late, but
Yeah, I see what you mean. It looks like it's about to stab you for some reason.
yeah,
Yeah,
Mm.
it's
You
cool.
mean-
very pointy.
Which one? Which one are we looking at? Is it the Void Raven? Or...
Hemlock Wraithfighter on the Kiwi's GW side.
The Hemlock is the one I'm building.
Okay. Yeah, I dig that. I like
Yeah.
them all. They all look like kind of slightly more ridiculous jets. They all look like they would fly, which is cool. Versus like all the Space Marine ones were like, oh man, it's some witchcraft to make this fly.
They actually do look like they would fly. It's got a lot of wings. It's got more wings than normal planes have.
It's got lots of winglets, yeah. It's got like rudder. It's good, yeah. I'd totally buy loads of them if I had a use.
It looks like you have to be careful to not cut yourself while you're building this.
Yeah, it does look like one of those models that like you would like put blood, sweat, and tears into, and then like literal blood.
Yeah, I've done that so many times on the ogres.
Mhm.
Everything here looks tame, really.
Mm. Yeah, Chris on the Miniatures Monthly was saying when he was doing his Big Lad for Tzeentch Demons, the Lord of Change, that he pinned that So to paint the base separately and to like paint the legs like in the hidden bits, he like did paint them separate in sub assemblies, and so I had like 2 pins that were then like into like a takeaway plastic box. So whenever he was painting it, everything he touched was basically just cutting him. So yeah, that sounds.
But he's also the master of like overdoing.
Yeah, he was complaining it took like 3.5 weeks to do this one thing.
Well,
And he was supposed to be having a month of like speed painting.
I found a Eurofighter, right? I'll have to put this picture in the show notes. Found a picture of a Eurofighter that looks like it's a 40k.
Oh wow! Holy shit! That is
livery.
certainly a paint job. Whoa!
Apparently the Bavarian.
They were like
special
wanted to look
livery.
like a tiger.
Yeah,
That well-known camouflaging thing in the clouds.
it's got eyes.
Tell you, do you got? When I was a kid, there was a show called was it Ring Fighters or something like that, and it was planes that you could have, and they would go like on hula hoop style on like on little sticks that would have a ring at the bottom that you could put on your fingers and fly them about. I swear that was one of them.
Probably. I mean, the Eurofighter's been around for ages.
Mm.
It was called the Jäger 90 because they wanted to finish it in 1990, which was typical German projects like the Berlin airport, which they've tried to finish for 10 years now or whatever.
Is it a cartoon, Joe? Ring
was. Ring
Raiders? What
Ring
the
Raiders.
hell
Yeah.
is this? What is this? What?
Oh, I see the tiger stripe thing now. Yeah.
Holy shit!
It is.
Yeah. That is a German one. Yeah.
Oh my god! I think I remember this.
Yeah, there's one there's one of the fighters has like tiger stripes in the exact same colors.
So this is a cartoon that I've been trying to work out what it was for literally like 10 years. I had like one episode on VHS, and the other, like every so often I'm like, man, that thing with the like giant like carrier thing in space, which isn't Macross and it's not Captain Scarlet. It turns out it's Ring Raiders. Wow. Holy
Wow,
shit.
you learned something. Absolutely
memory.
useless.
Yeah.
Is all of it on YouTube though? That's the question.
Oh dear. That's my tomorrow sorted.
It looks like quite a lot of it is on there.
I think we just figured out where the Bavarian Air Force stole their paint job.
Whoa.
Yeah,
memories.
it's the Ring Raiders. Yeah. Oh, so good.
I watched that as a kid. Let's paint a Eurofighter like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So it's issue 4 from the what's this? 28th of October 1989. Ring Raiders.
35p.
Sky Tiger shows its claws.
That sounds about right. I would have been about 4. Yeah.
That's
That
awesome.
sounds about right.
That is awesome.
Man, they
God,
were great.
It's beautiful. I'm going to watch this show again.
I just want to know. So I see that they made this show
Yeah.
for the toys, right? Which is a ring you can put around your finger, and then there's like a stick that sticks up, and there's an airplane. How the hell did they explain in canon that they're called Ring Raiders? That's what I want.
Because they wear rings that have got like fucking magic powers or something.
Oh, of course they do.
Because like their jets transform or some shit, but not in a Macross way, and it turns into a mech in a kind of like just like in a kind of Colossus. It like goes into steel mode or whatever. Yeah. This is.
Oh my god! You could actually buy that thing.
You can buy the
as a
carrier.
Matchbox limited edition or something.
I used to have an inherited my cousin's version of the carrier.
Oh my
It was
days.
cool.
You know, I felt bad recently because I've spent 30 euros on a digital tank. This is why I do this show with you. Then I listen to all of you and I don't feel bad anymore. Because we're all ridiculous.
I still have stuff in the cart. I can see her from the last time I went to Games Workshop. Oh, it's just sitting there. Primaris Reavers and more Inceptors.
Oh, I
with
found
plasma guns.
Those Reavers.
So there were Revell kits, right?
Yeah.
Ring Raider, Revell. Look at this. This is the actual Vigan. That's a good paint job. That's something like Viggen. That's Swedish, right? That's what the Swedish Air Force
Yeah, it's made by Saab.
could do now.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how they didn't get a knock.
That looks amazing. I'd piss myself if I see that coming towards me.
I'd buy that. I'd buy and paint that. That looks great.
Which one was it? Sorry.
Well, I just posted another link. There's a Revell kit. That's a Saab Viggen with a Ring Raiders paint job. That's also amazing. I just now want to paint planes again.
Get into Airfix.
Well,
I've been into Airfix like when you were like 2.
Get back into Airfix, Fab. It's way cheaper.
I had a huge Mustang, which was always my favorite plane. I don't know where that is. That must be like on my parents' like in their attic or something.
My biggest was an Avro Vulcan. It was lovely.
Oh, that's a nice plane as well.
Amazing. Yeah.
Well, I also built
the
Bismarck. That was even bigger.
I had the Tirpitz, but not the Bismarck.
I sank the Bismarck.
But I did not sink his deputy.
Yeah, that's like in a lake or whatever. It's playing around with it, and it sank. I don't think that was supposed to float.
No, you could make them float, but no, really.
Yeah, I think I thought I'd made mine float, and it floated for a bit, and then it sank. Well, it was a fitting end to the Bismarck.
Appropriate.
I loved that movie. I used to watch that movie with my granddad when I was a kid. Sink the Bismarck. I'll have to watch that again at some point in English. Probably even better.
I can't say it's one I've seen.
Oh, it's like a 60s. Is it black and white? No, I don't think it is.
I think I know of the one you mean.
It's just basically ships just shooting at each other. Yeah, it's from 1960. Sink the Bismarck. They're basically just driving around, shooting each other.
Wasn't the Bismarck sunk in a bay by torpedo bombers?
Yeah. The moan. The main part of the movie, the moan, what the hell, is actually not about the Bismarck. I think it's about the Tirpitz or whatever. But then in the end, also the Bismarck sinks. Yeah, I think it's a black and white movie, and I think they colorized it.
I think they did. I've definitely seen the black and white version because, as far as I can tell, I've seen like all World War II movies as a kid through parents.
Yeah, me probably as well. I used to love, that series, Operation Petticoat?
Yeah.
That was great.
Was it?
Do you know that was an actual paint job? Like, that pink.
Yeah, pink was...
that was actual camouflage.
Yeah.
I just learned that this year.
Desert warfare tanks were quite often...
Yeah, I think we even talked about this on the show. That's probably why I know about this. Yeah. They used to paint them pink.
I don't know why they painted submarines pink, but I'll let that fly.
I think it was ships rather, but I don't know.
But is a submarine a ship? That's the question.
No, it's a
boat.
It's a boat.
But,
it's a boat.
But are boats also ships? Don't even start this. This was a thing.
No.
Take it.
Oh no.
My best mate is a submariner, and he says anything with more than one continuous deck above water level is a ship. Anything which doesn't have more than one continuous deck above water level is a boat. So submarines are boats.
I like that one.
Okay, but when the submarine is not submerged, it has like the old style ones. They have a continuous deck, right? It's just a turret in the middle.
No, not really. They might have one above the water, but not more than half it. Half of it is above water level anyway.
Huh. Okay.
So I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I don't need the deck inside. I mean the wooden thing on top.
It's not a continuous deck. It doesn't go from front to back.
Whoa. I think on the old ones, like on the U-boats, it does.
Really?
Yeah. But I believe him. He's a bloody submariner. I always...
It's fine. What you do is work out which way the person you're talking to wants it to be and use the other way.
I always thought the rule was that if it's actually carried on the ship or can be carried on the ship, then it's a boat.
But,
for submarines that never worked. That always confused me.
It doesn't work anyway because you can get boats that carry ships that carry ships.
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's confusing.
Whoa.
Have you ever
What a-
seen that huge ship that they use to like carry other? It's
Yeah, the one that's sort of like it's like got a big U shape in the middle. The
Yeah.
back door opens, it submerges, and it like drives up.
No, there's actually like a transport vessel.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
like
it's sort of
transports 4 hulls of like normal like cargo like huge cargo ships. They're just stacked.
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture, but the link goes to the Daily Mail, and I'm not doing that. But that looks more like a barge than a ship.
Oh God.
Yeah, don't.
In other news, there's apparently a BrewDog beer called Sink the Bismarck.
Yeah, there was a German brewery, and they had like a big. They had the competition if you could brew the strongest beer. So I think BrewDog did Tactical Nuclear Penguin first, and that's like 32%. Then the German one did Bismarck, and then BrewDog did Sink the Bismarck. And it carried on after that. But at that point, I was like, oh man, these are so like 32% beer doesn't taste good. So I had no faith that anything else would.
Did the German brewery then have a beer called Scarpa Flow?
I don't know. I mean, I can't. I sort of I stopped keeping track of it at that point because like this is ridiculous. It's just I'm keeping up with like brewery PR. That's the most bullshit buying into brand thing ever.
No, the
shitty
most
beer.
bullshit buying into brand thing ever is to buy a tank in a video game that you haven't played to this point because it's on brand.
Oh man, don't tell Shara about this because she will take the piss.
It's a good tank though. I was
Well, that's a good consolation, really.
I was telling Joe before the show that I've been playing World of Tanks, and I bought the Primo Victoria tank, and it's got the crew voices, and Joachim keeps saying like when you shoot at something and you miss, like, oh come on, you gotta be kidding me.
So, can you just buy it outright
Yep.
from like day zero playing it? You don't have to like level up any shit.
No, it's a premium tank, which means you can buy it immediately. It's only available for a few more days, I think. But
wow.
Yeah, I had a look today. I logged on just to see the tech tree, and I don't think
Sorry.
it's on the site.
you cut out there. Can you repeat that?
Yeah.
Fiber for Mike.
Yeah, exactly. I logged on to tree. Am I still cutting out?
Well, yeah, a little bit.
Oh god.
No, I think
Fine,
it's
fine.
okay now.
Yeah.
Well, you
I can
logged
see-
on.
Yeah. The little icon shows that sometimes the connection just drops. I hate air. It's I hate all ISPs, but just over here it's just
Right.
yeah. Don't get me started. Anyway, so I logged on to see if you could sort of work your way through the tech tree or buy it with in-game currency, but I don't think you can.
No, you can't.
Yeah, it's just basically just a premium tank. That's
Yeah, premium tank means
Yeah.
you can't unlock it. But then, like, I only have the other tanks are shit. Like that, like the one I get for the tutorials, like tier 3, and this is like tier 6 or whatever. And you can immediately like play these battles, and you know it's World of Tanks. It's a little bit play it to win because you get a lot of XP for like fighting battles with that tank, which I can then use to train the crew for my shit tank.
yeah,
Also, it has a Sabaton logo on the side.
yeah. It's just so cool, isn't it?
So I assume the battles are a bit like in War Thunder in that you'll have eras. So like you'll be like World War II tanks will be fighting against World War II tanks. Presumably, it's like more divided amongst
Yeah.
eras in World War II. What era is the Sabaton tank from?
Well, you have tiers, and
Yeah.
it's a Stritzwagen. Mike's probably better at that. STRV 81.
okay.
Stridsvogn,
Yeah,
Stridswagen.
that thing, which is a, I think that's a Centurion, like a British Centurion. So it's Wikipedia says it's in service from 1946, so it's basically after World War II.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's like I don't think even tier with tier 10 tanks, there are up to the very modern ones.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they have the Abrams.
Yeah, I wonder if they even have the rights to use those.
Oh, do we need? What are they gonna do? What's the tank manufacturer gonna do to you?
Sue the crap out of you with their literal billions of dollars.
Turn up with a tank.
Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna turning up with the actual merchandise and start rolling through your sitting room. Would be
Yeah, but you know,
thing.
Then again, that's fantastic PR for you.
that is fantastic PR, and wargaming is in Russia.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
let me
But
see.
funnily enough, everything they do with at least the European stuff, it all runs through Cyprus.
Yeah. I
yeah.
think the HQ and stuff. Although I learned, I was at the wargaming party, and I met the.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
I met the general manager, and I talked to him for a bit, for Europe, and he's in Cyprus. And do you know they have 550 developers on this game?
Wow.
What?
Yeah, and they actually have a studio in Australia because that is.
They can develop 24/7.
No, that's where the engine is. They bought they used the engine, used an engine, and then they just bought them, and they got a lot of money.
Oh wow.
So I think so with American tanks, they're up to the M60 basically. That's a tier 10 tank. So let's see with British tanks. You should know your British tanks. So they're up to the Centurion or the Chieftain basically.
Yeah. Okay. So that's sort of.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So not modern tanks.
No.
Like Cold War era, then
With
basically.
Germany, they're up to the Leopard 1, which is funny. They have the Nazi German flag, but obviously the Leopard is a pre-war. The current one's the Leopard 2, right? And this is from the 50s or 60s. Let's see where the Russians are at. I really like that latest Russian tank, the Armata. That thing looks amazing.
Is it one of their big brutes?
T-14.
No, actually, it looks very modern.
Okay.
It's super angular.
It's very angular, and they have it's also a base. So they have a good self-propelled gun. They have light, the anti-aircraft platform, whatever, and they have this tank hunter thing. I've saw recently, because obviously RT was tweeting about that, because it's Russian tanks, and it's called the Terminator.
Oh, is that the GDI tank?
Yeah, that's it looks very GDI. So it's the base from an Armata, and then on top it has this turret with two big tubes. I think they're probably rocket things. It looks right. Joe's right. It looks right out of Tiberian Dawn.
Yeah, this is super. It looks super kind of
So
I don't know, kind of what the 90s thought the future would look like.
yeah.
Yes.
So in World of Tanks, they're basically up to the 60s.
There's a link to an image of it.
Oh yeah, that thing's awesome looking. I've got so many links open. Bloody hell.
Wow, yeah, the Terminator 2 looks fucking rad.
That
It's amazing.
camo is good as well. It looks like something right out of Games. That could be a Games Workshop thing.
Quick, get Tom Watson on the phone.
It's a bit Tau. The guns are a bit small. Also, they're not rockets. They're optics.
Yeah.
They're I guess there's targeting optics for the machine guns.
They probably fires bright red lasers. Should fire bright red lasers.
It should, yeah. Made in the Russian Federation. I love these Russians. Russians are, they're, if they do something, they do it properly. They completely won Gamescom with just getting Sabaton to play on the booth. They burned the bloody hall down.
Nice.
It was really good. And then obviously at the party that was really good as well. That was fun. Yeah, so what have you guys been up to?
I was looking earlier what I committed to on the Tale of the Four Warlords.
Oh, we're starting with that. You want to make me feel bad right in the beginning. Okay,
we
let's
could
do that.
because I feel like we've been going for like quite a while, and we've got to none of the topics.
It's only been half an hour. I don't know what you're talking about.
So I checked my blog post about what I said I'd commit to, finishing by the end of the year, and saying that out loud kind of like terrifies me. I said I would paint Robuto Gilliman, 2 10-man Stern Guard squads, a Rhino, a Vindicator, and a Predator. I've somewhat expanded upon this in that I have painted a Robuto Gilliman, but I have since purchased a second Robuto Gilliman. So I'm 50% done on that. I said I do 2 10-man Stern Gun squads. There are 4 Marines finished of the now 3 10-man Stern Gun squads that I have. They're all assembled, they're all primed, most of them are based. And most of the bodies are done. I kind of went sub-assembly crazy and magnetizing crazy. It turns out if you magnetize arms, it gets really annoying to paint arms because they're not attached to anything, so they're really tiny, so you can't really hold them.
Try gluing a magnet to a stick.
Gluing a magnet, that's a good plan. I'll do that. That sounds like it might solve all my problems. The Rhino, so specifically it was a Rhino kit I bought in first year of university.
Don't mind me. It's just the recorder that fell down.
I have finished that. I have finished that Rhino, so I am 100% on that. And a Vindicator and a Predator that are both magnetized to be Rhinos. I have got that as far as they are built and they are magnetized, ready to be primed.
Wait. Are you counting magnetizing options as separate tanks here?
No, so a Vindicator, that can be turned into a Rhino, and then a separate kit that is a Predator that can be turned into a Rhino. I did think about how I could try to jury rig them to be like both, but then I'd end up just buying loads of kits, and it would be like, why wouldn't I just like use them? I don't know. Magnetizing them kind of seems kind of a little bit overkill. I don't know how I feel about it. I'm pleased with what I did. I'm kind of proud of like how it all fits together, but it does feel like, man, it would have been a lot easier just to buy more kits and have more tanks in my life, but I don't know.
But then you can magnetize those kits and have more options.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Do I need those options? Because realistically, apparently everyone's don't run Rhinos, run Razorbacks. I think is a thing I read on the internet, and apparently they understand the game better than I do. So yeah, I don't know. And yeah, I also picked up a Razorback because I wanted to have 3 Rhinos in total that I could put my Stern Guard guys in. So I have significantly increased the amount of stuff, and I mean, there's the constant temptation to, I got the bloody Redempted Dreadnought, didn't I? Oh god, I got that as well. So
but you called it the Fat Boy.
The Fat Boy, yeah, the Fat Boy. That's really cool. I like that. That was to build. That is primed and ready to go. I don't think it's actually going to be that complicated to paint because it's mostly just like metal stuff, which you can just like dry brush, and then panels which are pretty smooth, so they should be kind of easy. I think that should be quite easy to bash out. So that's where I am. I'm kind of like, I don't know. I'm definitely going to finish what I said I'd finish, but in terms of what I've bought, probably not, which I feel is like the perpetual state of people who play war games.
Yeah, as long as you get some stuff finished, it's fine.
Yeah, because I've also like gone on a tangent. I've painted a Tyranid. I did a high fleet Kraken guy with a big Tyranid gun thing. I have no idea what it's called. It's cool. And I've been painting my Age of Sigmar guys because I bought the Sigmarine, whatever those guys are actually called. I bought that starter kit along with the tree lads.
What they're called? Sigmarines?
Sigmarines.
They are Sigmarines.
Stormcast
Eternals.
Stormcast Eternals. Yeah.
But they're Sigmar Space Marines. So
they are Sigmarines.
Yeah, because Ellie's got the Twig people. So yeah, we got some Age of Sigmar stuff. So I've kind of almost finished painting that box. But then I split the Age of Sigmar starter set with Tom from Discord because he wanted the corn guys. So I've got more Sigmar guys with, I think it's a fulminator. That's a word that the Miniatures Monthly people say a lot, is fulminator. I don't really know what it is or what it does, but it's the thing, some sort of beast that they ride. I have no idea. But it looks cool. It's going to go blue. It's good. So yeah, I've done shit tons of stuff, but not really what I said I'd do.
Hi.
Yeah.
Familiar story, apparently.
Oh yes. So last podcast I was building 60 Nobblers, and I've spent majority of the time painting sodding Nobblers. Yeah, and I've also taken on a Eldar commission, which is Ulthway, which is Black and Bone, it's really fun actually. But my entire progress is I've now airbrushed everything red, and that's it. Everything is now red. Yeah, and I've painted 5 Wraith blades with axes, and I painted it's like black and bone and purple. They look great. I love them.
I have questions about those.
Yes.
How do you do the bone and the black? Because the bone looks really, really cool.
The bone is just a bone color, and then a kind of I really want a better word for this, but it's diarrhea brown. Really lightly washed in, like directionally washed, so you pull it down in the direction, not using actual washers, using paint, just diluted down. But
Is that the Citadel color, diarrhea brown?
Yes, basically. It's
They'd call it Nurgle's diarrhea brown, right?
Yeah, Nurgling poop.
So, addendum. How is wash actually like chemically different than just like diluted paint?
Right. So in this case, it is just diluted paint.
Okay.
What I'm talking about here is just really, 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 really thin diluted paint with.
Okay.
It's basically just medium. Well, just water will do. But I use medium water and drying retardant and flow aid because I have it mixed up in a tub.
What, medium water? That's not heavy water.
So there's the paint medium, which is basically the paint without the pigment in.
All right. Is that Lamia medium?
Yeah, similar to that, but I don't buy GW stuff because you can buy it cheaper in bigger tubs elsewhere. I think mine's Vallejo, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, GW washers are different because there's less paint pigment in it, but from what I've looked at, it's a different sort. Words are escaping me. It seems more translucent. So if you put a wash over something, it's almost like a diluted ink rather than diluted paint, which would also work as the wash, I guess.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
I don't really know that much. I'm only going by what I can see.
Okay.
But
crap.
An ink changes everything that it touches, right? While a wash
so
goes into the recesses, or is it the other way around?
It's same difference basically, but inks are dissolved pigments, so they are the pigment is actually dissolved into whatever liquid it's in, whereas the paint is flecks of coloured stuff in a medium. So it's the difference between a suspension and solution.
Okay.
Chemist, yeah.
Dave goes, yeah, I got that. My space dust degree, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I don't know a better way of saying that. Sorry, I'm just looking through the GW website and trying to find this colour of bone that I use for the wash.
There's no diarrhea brown. There's Mornfang, Acrylant.
No, but there's 50 different paints that are a shade of brown.
Wow.
There's a typhus corrosion.
That's a technical paint.
XV88. Yeah.
Oh, that's tau poop.
Yes, tau poop.
Yeah. Tau poop.
Scrag. It's scale 75 Oroco anyway. Baylor brown maybe. I'm just reading off random brown colors. It's kind of diarrhea brown.
What's the what's that? Oh god, graphics designers always have that color chart thing.
What, the Pantone color?
Yeah, what's the Pantone?
The Pantone 9009,
Right.
because that's the closest in letters that I can get to poop.
Sounds good to me.
What you really need is the Citadel Paint app. That's what you need. Relevant thing that got announced at Nova Open or whatever it was.
I don't know what's the point.
I have no idea. It's just a list of paints. I think it kind of seems vaguely kind of what I want, but not. So
what have they announced? Sorry, what?
An app on iOS and Android.
Yeah.
To see all of the different types of paint that Games Workshop sell. Keep track of the ones you own and the ones you want. But they've also got like painting resources.
That sounds amazing. I want that. How much is that?
I don't know. I imagine it's going to be free? Question mark.
There's a free or a very cheap one you can get that does GW and a load of third-party paints.
Yeah, I think the thing they're kind of like bringing is that they've got like their painting tutorials built in, so you can like look at stuff and like, okay, how do I paint red on? Like, I think the video implied that you could like basically look at any model,
okay,
and then just like press on a bit, and it would be like, this is how you paint it, the kind of heavy metal style.
Here's what I need. We once had an episode called Forge World Dash Button, because Amazon was. I think that was the first episode that Mike was on. Because Amazon has these dash buttons that you can press and some like the product turns up. I need that. I need like a Citadel paint chart, right? Can put on my wall, and when I press a paint,
it just gets delivered to you
by drone.
Yeah,
That's what I need, because do you know this? Like, I don't paint that often, and I sit down. I got time. I got time now. I got time, the weather's right, everything's perfect. I got coffee, it's like Saturday morning. I got nothing on my agenda. Finally, I can paint. Everything is perfect. I lay out everything. I know what I want to paint, and then that one critical paint has dried. And I need to push that button, and then a drone turns up.
One of the best things I've won, I won painting competition at a tournament I went to, and it's a full set of Army Painter paints.
Ah, so they all come in the eyedropper things as well, don't they?
Yeah, I love the dropper bottles. If GW convert to them, I'd be so happy. But yeah, it's a full set, so I never have a color or a shade I don't need. I mean, I tend to mix up a lot of what I need, but if there's one and I'm feeling lazy, I just have everything except pinks. It doesn't come with any pinks
because that's not very wargamery. That's not like.
Yeah, it was all fine and dandy until I came to try and paint these Eldar, which need pink. Yeah.
I just found a blog post of a guy who made Citadel paint dropper bottles, and he actually stuck the logos on there.
Yeah, I've seen a few people do that on Twitter. I cannot think of anything more boring or a bigger waste of my time.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a valuable use of my time. Just like sitting there with a syringe emptying paint into other paints, losing some fraction of it on the way.
Yeah.
At every step.
Which would probably be less than dries in the shitty bottle.
Don't think it'd be worth it. Which is a shame. I don't think they'll ever go to droppers because they'll lose money.
Yeah, because I have to buy new paints all the time.
Yeah. Also, it would increase the barrier to entry. Like, scrubs will like paint from the pot rather than with like a palette.
Or you'll get parents complaining that their kids just squeezed the whole tube of stuff everywhere just to paint like an eyeball.
Exactly. Yeah, you can't put it back in. So yeah, it's a shame. It's never going to happen. But yeah, the app kind of looks kind of cool. I'd probably pick it up when it's out unless it's like 20 quid, which probably it might be.
I'll try and find the name of the app, but there is one out there that will do that for GW and third-party paints, but obviously it doesn't have the guides and stuff on.
Yeah, that'd be cool because I've got like a random assortment of like Army Painter, Vallejo model, Vallejo game, and also GW stuff. So keeping track of what I actually have, and like, does it do conversions as well? Like, what is the appropriate color in a different range for that?
I don't think so, but you can sort it by color almost, so you can see which ones are close to it on.
That's cool.
The chart. So yeah, maybe
do it by eye. That's useful, because that's the thing. Like, I find quite useful. If some guide or whatever says to use this color, I'm like, oh man, do I have to buy a thing, or do I already have it in Army Painter version? And if the colors are grey, I most definitely do. So I have like 4 million shades of grey, and I have no idea.
Is Nurgling brown the same as my poop brown? I don't know.
Almost definitely.
You could just use the app on the toilet, take a picture, and yeah.
That's right. I've got a child I can use that for. Yep, right. That's a nice shade of brown in that nappy.
Please don't use those on the models. Please don't use that on my Pure Boy.
Yeah, and so I've got a Pure Boy of Dave's to paint. I've got the banner dude that's just going to have a really silly banner on it when I actually get around to painting him, which maybe one day.
Was it like a combination of Father Ted quotes and what was the other thing we were going to put on?
It was going to say pure in the middle or something, and
pure, yeah.
less of that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Down with that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's it. So, it should be good when it's done. It's been airbrushed blue. It was my test model for the for using the airbrush, because I never use it. So yeah, it should be really, really entertaining when it's done. But as I say, it's just I have so much to do.
when you're airbrushing stuff, when you airbrush the red, are you doing any sort of like directional kind of lighting on that, or are you kind of just basically going like, this is the base coat but just done rapidly?
For the orcs, it was just spraying them red. It was just an easy, convenient way to get them all red really quickly. For him, yeah, it's all kind of directional. I used it for the highlight, to get the base of the highlights on and stuff.
Oh, so you did more than one shade of blue with that?
Yes, yeah. There's it's basically the same shade of blue, but just adding white to it progressively to make it lighter, and a bit of yellow at times.
Why yellow? Whoa, tell me some colour. Why?
I think it was yellow I used. It just brightens it, lifts it. Yeah, it lightens it up. It lifts it. Because if you do just white, you desaturate the color you're using.
Okay.
So when I say desaturate, if you add too much white or black or the complementary color to whatever you're using, you can desaturate. It basically makes more grey.
Okay.
So it probably wasn't yellow I was using. I wonder what I was using. I might just use white. But yeah, so if you can add certain colours. I often use bone to make things lighter instead of white. Because that way you keep the yellow keeps a brightness in it. But yeah, so you just basically want to avoid making it too grey. It's why for shadows, don't necessarily add black. Add a little bit of black and then add the complementary colour, because that will desaturate it, make it more grey, and make it more natural looking shadow.
Whoa.
Magic. See, if you bought this book I keep recommending, Dave.
Oh, don't worry, I will.
What book's that?
Yeah, we should link that actually.
Yes, it's the Figone Colour and Light book. My painting really, someone else can find that. I've got a plane on my keyboard. But yeah, the Figone Colour and Light book is phenomenal. Really, really good. Really well written. Really well explained.
Kickstarter one you talking about?
Yeah, I think it was donkeys and donkeys ago. I didn't get it on the Kickstarter, but
link is in the show notes.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, I think that's Figopedia thing, right?
Yeah.
Do you have any resources for airbrushing? Because I happen to have put an airbrush on my wish list, so I was able
not
to
really.
buy it.
I've only used it for base coating stuff. Dave's Marine and these Eldo are the first time I've used it for any sort of highlighting stuff. So I just Googled it and guessed. I still don't know what I'm doing. It's working, but I don't know what I'm doing.
As a bonus question to that, how does it work with your commissions actually? How do people sort of go Joe, please paint this. Or
Don't tell anybody. He needs to.
No. Honestly, this is the first major commission I've done. The Nobblers before were because I sold my Warhammer Ogres, which is the first army that I did for Warhammer Fantasy, as it was, and I sold them to him, and then I said, I've got a load more stuff. Do you want this as well? And he said, yeah, I'll take most of it. And then I have found another few bits in the box. I said, do you want these? He said, yeah. Actually, do you mind painting me some stuff? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And so I did him some bits and pieces, and he then said, right, I want an Eldar army. And I'm like, okay, this could be fun. So this is literally all I've ever done just for this one bloke. So yeah, if people want me to do stuff, they can wait.
yeah,
Quite honestly, I'd love to say, yeah, get in contact. I'm like, no, jog on.
no, it's just because the way you sort of went, I have this commission. It sounded like it was a regular practice.
No. I mean, after this lot, I'm probably going to start not painting gaming models and go on to just display stuff. Just because I prefer doing like the odd bust and stuff. It's much more varied.
Mm.
But yeah, that's partly to do with the fact I'm just a bit meh about Age of Sigmar and stuff at the moment.
Yes, 40k.
Yeah, 40k would be nice, but I would like to finish the orcs before I play loads, and that's not happening for a while. As we're talking about for Feldherren, yeah, they'll happen by the end of the year, sure.
yeah. I'm on track. Yeah.
To be fair, I still painted more models than the rest of you, just the wrong stuff.
Yeah, you painted 60 fucking Nobblers.
I'm never doing that again. That's me waffled on enough anyway.
Yeah. Mike, how are you doing?
Yeah, so I've all my stuff assembled, and that would then be the Primaris Captain, the Inceptors.
How many units of how many lads?
Yeah, so 1 captain, 3 Inceptors, that's 1 squad. Then 2 5-man tactical marine squads. Death Company jetpack marines with a chaplain. Death Company dreadnought. Let me see what else. List. So they're all assembled and sort of either red or black based, and I used them to play with a couple of weekends ago, and it went really well because I did a full match against Tyranid army, and it was epic. Like, it was really huge. I had a few more models in than the list of stuff that we committed to. And it just went sort of back and forth, this battle, because the Tyrannids now, like, oh my god, they're so fast, and once they close with you, that they are back to being proper close combat monsters. Like, you really don't want them in close combat, but sometimes you just can't avoid it, right? So that's why I had the Death Company, because I knew those guys would probably be able to take on some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how when you do these, like the games, and sometimes there's the stories write themselves in a way that, like, so the Death Company went and they were outnumbered, and they got attacked from several sides by carnifexes and stuff, and but then they have the Black Rage, basically, which means that if they die, they can still roll one more time to see if they ignore the last wound they get. But that's on a 6. And actually, I think it was like 2 or 3 times I rolled like a double 6 for 2 Marines, saving this. So,
Nice.
so the guy was ultra frustrated because they just wouldn't die, which is the whole point with the Death Company, that they're just these maniacs that keep going, right? And then he charged down my Death Company Dreadnought with a Trigon, which is this huge muscle with bladed limbs. Like, it's it's a complete and utter horror, to be in close combat with. But the Death Company Dreadnought won, and now I gave him a name because I will write about this guy, Brother Dreadnought Karandras. He will be in some story because it was so epic. So anyway,
the Death Company that won't die.
Yeah, exactly. They get sent out to die, but they don't. Because they're maniacs, they keep going. So
the Death Company are the Blood Angels that have gone to the
Black Rage.
vampireness.
Yeah.
yeah. So basically, what it is, the Black Rage, Blood Angels and their successor chapters, they have this sort of flaw, which is based on the trauma of losing Sanguinius. So what happens is they start getting these sort of visions and flashbacks to the Battle of Terror back at the Horus Heresy, the siege of the palace, and when they finally sort of go nuts is when they believe that they are, at the palace on Terra in, at the final battle of the Horus Heresy, and they experience, they're trying to get to Sanguinius. So that's all they can think about.
Okay.
So I think in the past, I think it was like, that they become vampiric sort of, monsters, and they just want to kill.
Isn't that the Red Thirst, though?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the Red Thirst. But
I'm thinking of the wrong thing.
But the Black Rage is, as far as I understand now, I think the canon is that it's, basically like a psychic trauma linked to the blood from the loss of Sanguinius, because basically the Blood Angels have a slightly sort of sketchy thing going on, where they have this kind of the Primax blood that they keep recirculating in the Red Grail, which is their version of apothecaries, the sanguinary priests, I think they're called. So basically they all have a little sample of like the Primax blood that they keep recirculating through the Grail, and I'm still not enough of an expert on Blood Angels. I'm waiting for the new codex to come out, which will probably be like next year or something. And then I'll have to really get into the fluff. But there's something linked to Sanguinius' blood and his death, which is then causing the Black Rage to sort of descend on Death Company. But they're hugely enjoyable squad because there's so much sort of fluff around them.
Yeah.
And they're just intimidating anyway, because the player on the other side knows that these guys are tough. They have extra attacks. So even against a Tyrannid player, you can sort of get away with it. I think there was some scouts in there as well that I missed. So they're all assembled and grounded, and some of them are painted a little bit. Like I have the Tactical Marines, I'm getting to put stuff on, like their shoulder pads and weapon, gun things. So yeah, on track probably, but now I've gone on a sidetrack where I've decided to assemble all my Primaris Marines from the Dark Imperium box.
Mm-hmm.
So I got all of them up and running now, assembled. I haven't coded them yet. And then because I really sat and spent a long time on looking at how to build a battle-forged army, so using the detachments and all that, I had this light bulb moment. Because you know how they use the faction words now?
Yeah.
So any detachment in any Battle-Forged army, they all have to have at least one faction keyword in common.
Yes.
Yeah. So I thought it meant that, okay, you could have a detachment of Crimson Grail Space Marines, which is what I call my Blood Angels, Successor Chamber. Then you could have a detachment of Ultramarines or Inquisition or, Astra Militarum or whatever. But they all have Imperium as the faction keyword. But then the light bulb moment was, you can actually have several types of units in a detachment as long as they have that faction keyword. Aha. So what I'm at now is that I've gone off the track of also writing about sort of the background fluff for my army. And now I'm thinking I'm going to base the big sort of army expanded above for Feldherren. Will be basically based on an acquisition requisition. So there'll be an Inquisitor or several acquisition sort of models being headquarters together with like Primaris captains or chaplains or whatever. Systems of Silence, which I have in a box from I have the Burning of Prospero box. You get Custodes and Systems of Silence.
Man, I love Custodes.
Yeah, so nice. So I think I'm gonna mix all these things in. I don't know about the Custodes. That's maybe a little bit sort of too curveball for what I want to do. But basically, what I experienced in the matches that I played, one against the Tyranids and then against Chaos. Against the Tyranids, I didn't have any Psychers. It's okay because Tyranids they're sort of organically psychic, but they do have some powers, but it's not sort of like hugely. But with Chaos, it really I got into trouble a few times, and I did bring a Librarian, but I could feel that need to do something about psychic phase because it's actually very important in the game now as well that you have something.
At least have something that you can do with the Deny the Witch.
Yeah, exactly. Which I didn't with Tyrannus. I couldn't do that, and he kept buffing his different units.
Yeah, there's some pretty powerful buffs, I think.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, there was like he could do. I think he got extra attacks or something like that, and
also like a surprisingly large number of the Tyranid units are Psychers as well, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they can do some kind of
more so than in like in Marine armies.
Yeah. So
Yes,
go ahead.
Isn't that because they all like got this psychic link that controls them or something?
Yeah, the synapse. Yeah, the synapse creatures. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
that was another.
I think any creature that's a synapse creature, like gives the synapse, has the synapse keyword, is also always a psyker. But it's a separate keyword. But I think it always is like that. You always want to have synapse creatures to buff your non-synapse creatures.
Nerds! Any creature is a synapse creature. It wouldn't without synapses. It wouldn't kind of
that's clearly
be
not
alive,
what it is,
would it?
Yeah, okay, but game mechanically, I think what
has the keyword synapse.
Yeah.
Fab does not have the keyword synapse.
I think you will find that Space Marines have synapses as well.
Yes. So yeah, I'm really now beginning to realize, right? I can mix and match my Battleforce army, and like Blood Angels, they can have a Librarian Dreadnought.
Yes, the Librarian Dreadnought is really cool.
Librarian Dreadnought, and I actually have parts of it because when I bought the Deathstorm set with the Death Company Dreadnought in it, that set it's basically like the Furioso kit just in a box with other stuff, and that Furioso kit you can make 3 different Dreadnoughts out of it: the Furioso Dreadnought, the Death Company Dreadnought, or the Librarian Dreadnought. So I have the arms and sort of casing for it. So I think I might take apart one of my old metal Dreadnoughts and stick the Librarian Dreadnought sort of casing elements on top, and then make a Librarian Dreadnought. I mean, it's just
You should buy a Fat Boy and have a Librarian Fat Boy.
Oh, Librarian Fat Boy. Don't even know if that's a thing, but I want it.
Well, I mean, it goes. I mean, obviously we have Primaris Librarians, so at some point some of them will be shot up beyond help, and must be encased in the Dreadnought.
Yeah,
it won't happen very often, but so I'm really like I'm going off on a tangent, and I'm trying to not buy extra stuff because I actually don't need it. I have plenty of things here, as you could see. Picture. But it's just so hard because, like, for example, the Inceptors that I talked about previously, just that one squad of 3 Inceptor Marines, they can plop down anywhere on the board 9 inches from other units or other units, and then basically fly over and start shooting them with 18 assault shots. Like, it's madness. Of course, you shouldn't be shooting like heavily armored stuff, but so I love Inceptors. They're fantastic.
So the thing I really like is that there's no scattering of deep striking. That it's just like set them up 9 inches away from something else. So
it works really well.
You just know it's going to go there. Like, you don't have to worry about going off a board edge or into impassable terrain. And it's nice that it's 9 inches, so it's not a guaranteed charge. Like, you can make that charge, but you're more than likely not going to, unless there's like ridiculous stuff. I think it's a Swarm Lord. You can put it in the Tyrannid drop poddy thing. Drop the drop pod 9 inches away. Then you can move the Swarm Lord. I think the Swarm Lord then has a power that lets it move twice. So then you're guaranteed to be in charge range, and then it's beastly and things. So it's like ridiculous stuff like that, but it's kind of rare. It's like your average kind of units can't do that.
Yeah, and I was really pondering the charge rules, because there was a few times where I went like, yes, this is great. I can appear somewhere on the board, but then you're kind of sitting in a vulnerable position.
Yeah.
And it'll take you a while to get to charge. And I was like, why? What is the thing here? So then I really, really read into rules. And the thing that I take from it is that, Overwatch is a good thing, because obviously, it's realistic. But you have to be aware that Overwatch can only happen if you can see the units charging you at the time of the charge being declared.
Yeah, if they are charging around, can't see them when they start charging. You can't.
Exactly, but you can charge units that you can't see.
Can you?
Yes, you can.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, so there you go. That's the thing. You can sneak up, or at least keep out of sight, right?
Interesting.
And then do your charge declaration. Round the corner, they won't be able to fire on you, and and also you can do multiple declarations. So if you're scared that you won't reach the target you want, if there's another unit closer by that you're not that bothered about charging, but you can still declare a charge against them. And if you don't roll what you want for the first one, if you declared the other one, you can then just attack them, because as long as you just get one unit into charge distance that it succeeds, then you're okay.
So you kind of string them out, be in theory in combat with 2 units.
Yeah, if you want to, but let's say that one is further away on your charge roll than you make the run, but another one, as long as you declared that before you made your roll, you can just walk up to them and it's still a success, even though you didn't reach the first declaration.
Whoa. So that was something I quite liked in Shadow War and in Bolt Action, is that Overwatch is anytime something's like in your line of sight. So if someone were to like pop around a corner, you would be able to do Overwatch on them.
And I mean,
it seems like I kind of like that, because it seems kind of more the point of Overwatch, in that like
they're watching somewhere.
Yeah.
But then you would have to have the which direction are you viewing? Which they had in previous versions, which also works. But then I think in this game, because you can shoot in any direction, you don't have to worry about which way you're looking.
Yeah, I think worrying about which direction units are pointing in is just bullshit. Especially when things are like so dynamic. It's like just the Primaris Marine that's head's looking in one way, but the gun is pointing the other way. How do you argue?
You shouldn't play World of Tanks, I guess.
Well, so I think in things like Infinity, like there's defined fronts and backs of the models. So in some games, like your bases will have like a 45-degree firing arc on the base, so that you can quite clearly be like, this is the front of the model, irrespective of what the character's doing, and it can see this.
In World of Tanks, it emits from the gun port.
Emits from the gun. Okay.
Which is like where your gun is.
Yep.
Which is bullshit on some tanks. It's like completely shit on some, and then on others it's like, because they only have one gun, Like
Right.
I was playing like this shitty like M3. It's called. It's like a M3 Lee. It's like a really old American tank, and the main gun's like on the side, but it has two turrets on top of each other. But they're just machine guns. They don't count. They couldn't hurt a tank, so they're just like not modeled in the game. But it's like you're wearing a top hat. So when you're behind a hill, you can't see over the hill, but everybody can shoot your stupid thing up top.
Short career in that one.
Well, it's apparently you can be good in that if you're good.
But I can't help but think of anything other than tanks driving around with top hats on now.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Total biscuit
beautiful.
tank.
Yeah. So I think my long sidetrack conversation with myself there was that basically I'm just exploring the game so much now, and there's so many things that I can just recommend to people. Just read all the FAQs that come out of Games Workshops since the release of the game, because every single one will have a clarification that makes a lot of sense to the game mechanics when you've played a few times.
Yeah.
And really it will become extremely tactical with these rules, and I can't wait. I have another I think it's in October. I'll probably go somewhere in Northern Ireland and do another
Nice.
day
I've
of
got a day of Warhammer planned for the end of October.
One thing I wanted to say, Mike, you posted a picture of your chaplain.
yes.
Or it's like your Primaris chaplain. I must.
Oh no, he's not a Primaris one actually. He's just a normal.
He's not. Okay.
Yeah.
He looks like a really new model.
I don't know if he's really new, but he's in the. You can buy him separately or in the Blood Angels Intervention Force.
Chaplain looks bloody great. That's one of the best models from Games Workshop I've seen in a while.
It is gorgeous,
and
it is absolutely.
It must be relatively new, but like if you look at it next to the Primaris Marines, it's almost as big. You know, I've noticed that the models they came out with in the last year or so were all a bit bigger than the ones before, which I think there was like slowly scaling up to Primaris for a year or two.
Yeah, because I can't help myself. Like I've just assembled all the Primaris Marines, and I'm just putting the little brothers next to them from like whatever 5 or 10 years old or whatever, and you kind of go like, you wee small little brother Marines there. Oh, that is, oh my god. And it's just like, how will they cope with this over time? Because there is so much out there still. People have all their old stuff from, especially if they're like us, 20 years, 5 years of just having stuff sitting in the basement or attic or whatever. And like you said, Dave, you pulled out something you bought I don't know how many years ago and assembled it now. It's how will they
lesson from World of Tanks
switch?
The tiny Marines need top hats.
I think I think that. So I've got two theories. One is that they'll just say like, right, it's no longer valid. You can't use them. Like quite a lot of Warhammer Fantasy stuff in the latest Age of Sigmar Army General's Handbook thing. Basically, loads of models now you just can't use in Age of Sigmar. So they might do something like that. Or what I think they might end up doing is just keeping them around, because all the old kits are way more configurable. So like the troops choice Primaris Marines basically have, you choose the number of Marines, and then you might give some like the extra kind of long range gun thing, and that's like the only configuration you can do. And it feels like the normal Marines, like the normal tactical squads, have more options for like heavy weapons and stuff like that. And it kind of feels like they'll just stick around. It's not the more elite, but the kind of like, if you want to stick around and make something weird and interesting, like the Stern Guard, they are just like, you can put whatever gun you want on them. They've got options for heavy weapons. They've got options for like all kinds of shit. that just aren't in the Primaris kits at the moment, and it feels like they're not going to add that because they're not in the Space Marine Codex, and we're kind of leaving Space Marine release territory now. We're going into when they're releasing like Chaos Space Marine, and then what was it? Yeah, and then Imperial Guard, and is it Tyranids are happening in October, November?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, Tyranids.
A lot of the Eldar stuff is out of
Diary, yeah, and then
so it feels like there won't be any more Space Marines.
No.
So they'll probably just stick around with them for the foreseeable future.
I think it is a planned migration to the bigger size, but I don't think they're going to be in a rush to annoy half of their customers by saying you can't use any of this stuff within the next 5 years. I'd be surprised.
That learned their lesson from doing the nuclear option and just wiping it all out.
I still maintain that was the best thing to do for fantasy.
I'm sure you can find people on both sides of the divide, but I think from a business perspective, I'm pretty convinced from what I read that they have sold more and done more with Age of
Fuck the business perspective. They killed all the lore.
I know, Fab. I know you still want Bretonians and run around in the old world, and I sympathize a lot with that. And it's easy for me to sort of sit on the fence because I was never really a big Warhammer Fantasy player. My friends kept buying me stuff for Warhammer Fantasy, and I have the guts of I don't know, 3,000 point Skaven army sitting in boxes, but
how do you have space for anything else in your house?
He's got a house. That's the key.
I had to build a house to get space for it. Yeah.
It's got its own deck. It's like a whole deck going through above the waterline just for Warhammer.
But when I say in boxes, I mean not assembled. Like it's sitting there and it's spruce still. And that's one of my dark secrets that I feel bad about is that it is a passion thing, isn't it? That if you really want to assemble it and paint it and use it, you will do it. And I just never got into.
Have you read Going Postal? By Terry Pratchett? All those unassembled Skaven might become sentient and haunt you.
Oh, that's why I can hear. In the late hours of the night, I can hear tiny claws scrabbling on the sides of the box.
We are live, Mike.
Yes.
But there
Master,
are no giant rats.
Assemble us.
Skaven.
I don't know. Some of the rats I've seen in Hamburg.
It's the old Empire thing, isn't it?
Might
they
disagree.
refuse to accept the existence of the Skaven.
Yeah, well, in Age of Sigmar, they are still around, aren't they?
Yeah, no, well, it's like the Empire used to.
They deny that. Yeah.
Oh, that. Oh, yeah. No, again. Sorry, I didn't. Yeah.
It's a bit like the Imperium and Chaos. Like no, there are no hidden dangers. There's nothing below us that can claw its way up and overwhelm our cities and kill all your
speaking
women.
Of things that are below us trying to claw.
Yeah.
Necromunda, eh?
Are you just skipping my progress because I don't have any?
Oh shit! I mean, I thought, Fab. How are you doing? Sorry.
So basically, I've committed to paint all of my Chaos Space Marines that are still. Most of them are from the Dark Vengeance set, and then there are a few of the what are they called again? The drop, the jetpack guys, Raptors, right? And I didn't. There's like one's. I didn't want to build the Heldrake, so that's out. So I had. So they were all like base coated already, and one was partially painted. One chosen, and I nearly finished that. And I'm pretty close to finishing second one. And that's it.
Excellent.
That's my progress.
But now you've got a house. Now you've got a hobby table.
Yeah,
progress is
yeah.
just going to accelerate.
I
through the
think
roof.
I think they look quite good as well. But yeah, we'll see. I'll have to step up my game. My plan is my problem is
You're about to go on holiday for a month.
yeah, I now gotta build unpack all those boxes so got some space. And then I'm in Australia all October. So I guess I'll have to really get cracking in November.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should give our sort of progress, what you would call it, the prognosis of when we think we would actually meet up, or possibilities. Are we still good for Hamburg in the springtime next year?
I'm good for meeting up. Having painted everything by then, I don't know.
Oh, but as long as it's assembled and base coated, we won't tell anybody, right?
Yeah, just 3 colors on everything, and then that's
3 colors.
legal.
Well, they're all black. They got ash eruption. They're blackened by the horrors of war.
Yeah. Something.
Yeah.
Oh, and I have a bonus question for you, Dave.
Uh-huh.
I think Arch Enemy has a show in Nottingham in February.
Okay.
Let me just see.
To the Googles.
Let's see.
Have I mentioned that I shook hands with Sabaton?
You've not, have you?
Oh, you did? Oh.
Talent.
Never washed my hand ever since.
Ah, gross.
And you know what they say over here? They say, "You jammy bastard." And that means I am extremely jealous and I hate you.
Proud to be.
That's what that means.
It's even worse that you got to go with work.
Yeah. It's just
Yeah.
not right.
Well, it was a horrible week. Lots of sweaty gamer kids, but that part made up for everything.
It's not a very nice way to talk about Sabaton.
Oh dear. Yeah, I'm here for work, but I hate you all. But I get to shake hands with these guys, so
Yeah.
that's
Anyway, you'll gotta go on to the next topic because Firefox crashed and I can't start it again.
Okay, so in response to Mike's thing about Arch Enemy, yes, there's a Arch Enemy gig in North 10th of February next year, supported by Winter Sun. So I'm there. Job done. Good.
I'm there too then.
The next thing is probably Necromunda with the delayed excellent segue. Last episode I mentioned that it got announced that it's coming back, and I was confused as to the fuck it was doing when Shadow War exists. Today, I think, or yesterday at the Nova Open, it was sort of said that Shadow War is going to continue to be a thing, and Shadow War is going to continue to be based on 7th edition, whereas Necromunda is going to be based off 8th edition.
Have you not seen the latest stuff on that?
The latest stuff? No, apparently not. I've not.
It's a square-based board game by the looks of it.
What?
It's not a 3D one. There is going to be rules in it for doing the 3D levels and stuff, but there are templates in it as well. Google for it. There's loads of new information on it.
Whoa.
What? Square-based what?
So it's got like a board, like a big kind of like
Okay.
It's squares like what's the football one? Blood Bowl.
Blood Bowl.
So kind of it's got squares on the board like that. And there are still the square plastic wall things in it. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be flat square-based board game.
Oh yeah. I saw the photos of the thing, and it comes with like loads, like in the kind of boxed game thing that they keep doing with the kind of shiny cardboard mats for the terrain and stuff.
There's specialist game style stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like Prospero, basically.
Yeah, it looks a lot
kind
like
of.
that. Except they're gonna. Apparently, there's quite a few armies in the works. There's like some Judge Dredd, Arbite wannabes coming in the future. Because I've been looking at the models, I'm really not kind of like taken with the diesel punk aesthetic.
I really like them. What's wrong with you? They're amazing.
I think Dave was born about 5 years too late.
Yeah, that might be it. This is like the pure 80s, man.
I like my punk cyber, not diesel.
Well, just paint like Matrix on it.
No, but they're all kind of like Mad Maxy. Like,
yeah, man. What's wrong with Mad Max, man?
they're not pure and wholesome.
What's wrong with burning fossil fuels?
Oh man, it's just bad. It's bad for the environment. It's bad for the Underhive fab.
Yeah, I don't think they care about that in the Underhive. Yeah.
Nah, probably not. But yeah, so it seems to be a little bit more clear that I'm going to get to continue to play Shadow War, because I'm probably not going to do Necromunda as well.
I'd be more of a Necromunda guy, actually. I really like that aesthetic.
I like that the Shadow War stuff you can just use normal. That it's just like, cool, I've got some Grey Knights that could go in a Grey Knight army, and I've got some like Deathcore Creek guys that could go in a IG army, and they're not like tied to basically one system. I don't know. It seems.
I love the models. I love the theme. I won't be getting it purely on the time and money factors. If they weren't a factor, I would be all over it.
Are the pre-orders up now? Yeah. Or
The model,
I don't know.
the models are so good.
no, I don't think they are. So the
No,
current
pre-orders would be up on Saturday. They always do
the
that.
current pre-orders for the Blight War stuff, which looks kind of cool. It's the Age of Sigmar new boxed game starter-y thing for 95 quid. I would split that because there's some very cool shit in that. But I really don't care for the Nurgle stuff.
I really can't buy more boxes, to be honest.
Yeah, that's also the problem, that I'm not doing that. So I've got to paint what I've got and play with it before I buy more stuff.
The whole reason I'm in for Feldherren is so I finally get these orcs painted that have been floating around for the last 2 or 3 years.
So you're
Yes.
just using us. You're not interested in playing with us. Is that
No,
what you're saying?
I was actually thinking if you guys can be in Nottingham in February, that might be doable.
Oh,
Sweet.
so the
Yeah,
planets are aligning. It is awesome. I love it.
Book a table. Yeah, I can tell you for a fact now you can't book a table that far in advance.
You know what? I'm up for that. I would like to do that. But I've been looking at this Blight War stuff, right?
Yeah.
And if I had time to paint it and I had the money, I would buy this box solely for that slug.
Oh, really?
It's so good.
That is
If
such a
anyone-
good
yeah.
model. Holy
If
Yeah,
anyone
it's
wants
pretty
to
badass.
send me a slug to paint, I will love them.
If anyone wants to send me the Lady Stormcast, send me that. That's really what I want.
the Lady Sigmarine.
Yep.
She
'cause it's,
is incredibly cool.
It's
Yeah.
just like, wow. It's just there's
Why
so many nice
are
models in
there female models now? What?
because it's progressive, fam. It's great.
She does look cool though. She's got an undercut.
Yeah, and she's got the cool axes. They're just hip. I just want that. I really want them to sell that.
How long to female Space Marines?
Oh god, don't even. Literally imagine the butt hurt. Bad.
God, that haircut is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, some people were saying that they want it just for the head.
Yeah, I can understand that. That would make a good Necromunda model as well.
No, it's nice to see it. Should be more female models in that aren't just posing.
Yeah, in a non-infinity way.
It's also very hip. I like the hipster hairstyle. I like that they're going with the hipster. Jesus Christ, seriously. Yesterday, or 2 days ago, I saw a police officer in Germany over here. He had the Miller haircut.
Nice.
I shit you not. It's like, what the hell? The hipsters.
That's cool.
Hipsters gonna hipst. Anyway, where were you at? Sorry.
Don't think there's much more Necromunda things, but there was another thing that Joe is probably really excited about.
Oh yes. This is also the reason why I'm not buying anything else for a long time. So Fantasy Flight Games are releasing a tabletop miniature game for Star Wars.
So what era of Star Wars?
Well, so far it's starting with the oldie stuff. So the start box has Luke and Vader in it, which is the guaranteed way to sell anything Star Wars to begin with. I love Star Wars. I love Vader. I'm reading the Vader comics at the moment, which are phenomenally cool. But yeah, so I'm dead looking forward to that. One thing that appeals to me, because I will be playing the Empire, because the Empire. But the way you do the movement is you have a squad leader, and you move the leader using a articulated ruler, and then you set up the rest of the troops in coherency around him, so you don't have to worry about moving like 50 bazillion orcs just by basically put my arm on the table and pushing. You can actually think about how you want to set people up, and you're not going to have one guy lagging behind that's out of cover. That means everyone's not in cover, sort of thing. But yeah, it looks really good, and I love the way Fantasy Flight Games do releases, just the game mechanics and stuff as well. And it doesn't use D6s
Yeah, they've got custom dice, haven't they?
Yeah, they tend to do custom dice for all their things, but it means they can balance the odds better. You're not stuck with D6 and then modifiers on top of that. You can actually do things the way you want them to be.
Yeah, put the right symbols on the right number of sides.
Yeah, and you can balance the odds that way as opposed to be stuck in with sixes and then doing maths.
I guess they're not sad that they lost the 40k license.
No, not at all. I don't think. Have you seen one of? I think there's someone else has got the license to do 40k
role-playing games. Yeah,
card game. Sorry.
Oh, really? Another card game, which is a shame because, by all accounts, Conquest was all right, but I didn't really get on with it.
Yeah, I think it's. I can't remember who's doing it, but they've done another miniature gamey thing as well. But yeah, so someone else has got the rights to that anyway, which could be interesting.
I gotta say, on these pictures, the lightsabers look shit. They need to paint those better.
Yeah, I have painted a lightsaber. It's really tricky to do.
Lots of OSL.
Yes, that is what I used to save it. It's good fun actually.
Well, I guess you can have like a lighter stripe, but where would you put it? Like it would only be on one side, wouldn't it?
And it'd only work from one direction. So it is something I'm going to have to ponder for. I'm going to paint Vader, and I'm looking forward to it lots.
You probably need just like a translucent thing, like the Lego lightsabers.
Yeah, like the Necron rods.
Yeah, still some Necron rods.
Probably look
Luke
better
because it's Endor clearly, isn't it?
Well, it's Endor Luke.
Yeah, it's Endor Luke, and it's got the bikes as well and stuff.
Yeah, so he has the wrong lightsaber in that picture.
Yeah, my mate Tim is doing a Mos Eisley board for it.
Oh,
he's pretending he's not, but he blatantly is.
That sounds good.
Yeah, it's because my main game is X-Wing, so having this as well is just going to be so much fun.
I love the long-range comlink card. Looks like the Scout Troopers vaping.
Yeah, some of the art FFG use is phenomenal. Some of it's
kind of shite.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's not really a lot in between. It tends to be one way or the other.
I'm interested to see how a Star Wars game like that would work. If that would actually work well.
I think it's going to be supremely popular.
Well, yeah, it's Star Wars. That doesn't mean it works.
I'd like to try it, but the kind of painting Star Wars appeal, I don't.
Yeah, my problem is I'm completely over Star Wars. I'm like, I came out the other end.
Maybe I don't know because I kind of like I want to dig out my X-Wing and play some X, but like I've not played it in so long, I have no idea what's going on, and I don't really want to pick up a new one because it's just like another thing that I play. Like I've got an Infinity Army that I've played with about half a time, so it's just like another system. So maybe not.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's why I've not got Necromunda and Shadow War and all that sort of stuff. It's just something else for me to not go around to play.
That's the thing with Shadow War, you can just use your normal models.
Yeah, but if I'm playing with my normal models, I might as well play 40k, which I barely get a chance to play.
Shadow War's pretty quick. Shadow War's over in like 3 turns.
Then you spend more time setting up than playing.
There's multiple games, just bash them out. Like the 3-player game we ended up playing was pretty fun.
Yeah, but again, if I'm going for multiple games in the evening, I'll just play X-Wing.
Yeah, but Star Wars is lame.
I get TIE fighters and I get to go meow, pew, 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 pew for
So-
3 hours in the evening.
Have they fixed the Phantom? Because like last time I played, the Phantom was
Yes, they fixed the Phantom to the point that no one flies them much anymore.
are the Defenders still good?
The Defenders they were ridiculously phenomenally broken, but they've nerfed them back down to being acceptable now.
Dave,
Yeah.
have you created a Facebook event?
Yes.
What, for February?
Yeah.
Yes.
You hero.
Otherwise, I'll forget about it.
You can't do this before the Hamburg plan. There was also the Hamburg plan. Jesus.
This sounds very World War II.
But
Operation Hamburg.
The Hamburg plan. Yeah.
but Hamburg was like March or April, I guess. Wasn't it?
So we're doing Nottingham first, are we?
Well, it's
Oh,
just,
God.
it's suits like arch enemy on a Saturday night in Nottingham. I mean, like,
I'm gonna click on maybe because I will have to talk to the wife.
Yeah,
yes.
it will be very much definitely maybe because I need to work out what will be going on anytime near that time.
And I need to figure out if I like Arch Enemy.
Oh my God, they're so good. Just
Have you listened
get in there.
to Creator?
yeah, bits, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Recently listened to them a lot.
I've been on a two bands binging, other than Sabaton, which is just constantly here. Xandria, the sort of like German symphonic metal stuff, that's surprisingly really good. And it's kind of like what I want Epica to be, because they always have like really cool artwork and stuff. But I don't get on with them. But Xandria are really cool. And then there's a band called Seven Kingdoms, which is like sort of Game of Thrones themed. In their first couple of albums, well, they're called Seven Kingdoms for one
Oh
thing.
my god.
And then loads of their songs are just like about the Night's Watch. Fucking brilliant. And then they recently did like a sci-fi kind of album this year. So we listened to those guys. They're really good. But yeah, check out Arch Enemy. They're good. I like them.
I
I will.
have to do that.
Yeah. They're not ska punk, so you won't like them. Or
I
K-pop.
do like things other than ska punk.
You love K-pop, right?
No, I thought we were talking about music.
You're gonna mention baby metal next, Dave, are you? Oh.
Yeah. Oh man, they're so mainstream though.
What
I
was
still
it?
love them. Still love them.
What was it you sent me a link to the other day, and I actually
you
rarely
clicked- you
capitulated on it, and I had
You
my
clicked on it.
volume.
I can't remember what it was. It was the. Oh god, what the hell was that? Fuck.
But my headphones were on full volume at work. I jumped out of my seat.
Yeah, it was something ridiculous, wasn't it? I
Yeah.
can't remember. I'll see if I can dig it out and put it in the show notes at some point. But it was like a million tweets ago, unfortunately. Twitter advanced search.
Meh. It was something loud and scary.
Yeah, that pretty much just sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, shall we wrap this up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have completed a Wraith Fighter in this time.
Oh
I'm pretty
god.
happy about that.
Awesome. That was a long podcast then.
We need to still do the feedback, which we didn't do last week.
Yes. We had a little bit of feedback. So we had stuff from the Discord, because I keep plugging the Discord because it's great. We post photos of things.
Even I'm in the Discord.
Yeah, Joe posts things. Mike posts things. I post things. Nicholas MM says, I have a question for Fabj. As a follow-up to his mini Twitter rant where he complains about not being able to follow more accounts.
Oh,
I
God,
checked.
yes.
You followed 5,001 accounts. Is your timetable timeline still usable? Do you use it? Just explain how you use Twitter, please.
Okay. It's not usable on the web.
So you use like an app or something like.
No, what I do is, I do use the timeline on mobile, but it's not like I don't read everything. Like I just read stuff that flies by randomly.
Yeah.
And when you follow so
Okay.
many people, the stuff that is important kind of tends to go past multiple times.
Uh-huh.
So I will invariably see it, also like it like on mobile it like collates stuff that more than one of your follower has liked or retweeted or whatever.
All right, it does the kind of magical
Yeah.
timeline optimization
So
bullshit.
I will find all the like not as a special like you might have missed section.
Yeah.
So I'll find all the 40k stuff that you and Mike and everybody else been retweeting, and all the Sabaton stuff. And I actually at work I use a client where it just flies past,
Mhm.
and it's the same thing basically when it flies past. I don't think it's all the tweets as well because clients don't really have the water hose anymore. It's not really like your real time feed, I think.
No.
But you'll get like like Trump threatened North Korea or whatever. If that flies past like more than 6 times in 10 seconds, something's up and you can like stop and scroll, whatever.
Fair. There was a little bit of commentary on the Deep Space Nine chat we had. Jay Poser said the Deep Space Nine chat was good. X101 said that the good episodes are good and the throwaway ones are not. To which Joe replied with, he even likes the terrible ones. I have to disagree with. I put this in because I'm like, no, fundamentally the bad Deep Space Nine episodes are fucking terrible.
There's some really bad ones, yeah.
Look at the Ferengi having a boring episode about being greedy. Grand.
Most of the Ferengi episodes are good though.
Oh, man, I don't know. I'm just not a...
With Quark's mom.
Yeah.
Always refusing to be naked. It's always good.
If Mom was like the only kind of Ferengi character, I'd be like, yeah, man, she knows what's up. But like, I suppose Nog is all right. It's the bits where like Nog is like being
I hate Nog. Quark's amazing. Quark's great. Quark's whatever he does is always good.
I like Nog. He's cool. And then Pepper J is responding to your complaining about Danes on the Autobahn.
Which Mike even...
Yeah, Pepper J says, I feel you about the Autobahn thing with Danes. However, oftentimes a lot of Germans do it too. What the fuck? We have the
Rechtsfahrgebot!
That thing, something about a boat. Drive as far right as possible, and yes, that's a thing. And people still sit in the middle lane and chill out. I think that's just a thing of all road users. So we just call it lane discipline. That you're always supposed to be as far.
Rechtsfahrgebot. So the way it works, people, is doesn't matter how many lanes you have. There's one lane in Germany. It's the rightmost lane. In the UK, it's the leftmost lane that you drive in, and then you go one lane further to overtake that car. Mm-hmm. And if somebody else is doing that and you want to overtake them, you go one lane further and so on. But you're always only supposed to be in the further lane when you're actually overtaking people.
Yes. Yeah. We have exactly the same thing.
Rechtsfahrgebot. See, if I get a car, right? I want to put, here people now put like these stupid stickers on the back of their car. We have another thing called Rettungsgasse. So when there's a traffic jam, you're supposed to leave a gap.
Yep. Also a thing we also get
the same thing.
That one does.
So they have stickers for that. And I want to...
So you're supposed to be able to see the sticker, which will give you enough room, right? Is that the thing?
Yeah, I think the idea is that people remember. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But what
it was like placed, so they like did the trigonometry of like, okay, so if you can see this
no. But I like the Rettungsgasse, by the way, because as a motorcyclist, I can use that. Anyway, not that I would do that. That would be illegal. No. What I want to do is, in the back of the car, I want to put a huge, written, like a sticker, a huge thing, huge decal text, whatever, that says Rechtsfahrgebot. And possibly like in some old Gothic German script, so it looks like a metal band.
Nice.
Rechtsfahrgebot. That would be my metal band if I had one. I have a song called Bloody Danes.
Yeah, you have one song.
Yeah. Bloody Danes by Rechtsfahrgebot.
Yeah. It's what can I say? It's just
you were actually agreeing with me on Twitter, weren't you?
We're kind of probably a little bit provincial, you can see the little man with his soft hat behind the wheel like, There are 3 lanes here. It's a big motorway. I'm used to 2 lanes, and yeah, this is all very scary. I'll just stay in the middle.
Yeah.
Because it feels good.
Having seen your motorways up there, I can hardly blame them, to be honest.
It's just when they get to the real the birthplace of the motorways, then yeah, it's too much. We're not ready for that kind of stuff.
Too much Autobahn.
Too much Autobahn. Exactly.
Right.
So yeah, I'm lying down, accepting how it is. Yeah.
So we've got some Twitter feedback.
Yeah.
We have oh god, bloody Twitter names. Everybody keeps changing. What are you, the neoliberal now, Dave?
I was the neon liberal for 24 hours because I made a terrible joke, and I don't think anyone really got it. I changed it back.
I can't tell who's who. This is peer pressure victim.
Dan Fan 65, yeah.
Yeah. 62.5. Thursday night is drinky wine night, so all mushy and full of love. Big love to Mega Slippers for explaining pub good to me on Geek News Radio. You got a fan. It's good.
Yeah, I got a fan. Shame it's not Dave fan, but yeah. Well, we can work on that.
Well done. Craig Ramsey says at Geek News Radio, if you got too much free time or mild depression, definitely, Jesus, check out Polygon's Plunkback streams. They're good boys.
They are good boys. I quite enjoy those. Also, Craig is the guy I met at the regular features.
Oh, yeah. Okay. The Cramsey. Says Twitter name. We also got Nicholas MM, who is posting on Vier Feldherren.
Yeah, he's our honorary Vier Feldherren
member. Yeah. He's doing Wall Boys, aka Imperial Fists.
Nice. No, I'm calling them War Boys. That's it. I'm in.
And he's got what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Almost painted.
That was like a couple of weeks ago as well. So I'm not sure if there's been more progress made.
I think he's better than all of us.
Well, he did the Legion of the Damned as well.
Yeah.
Because we did a really good exchange. He had that extra Index Imperium that he sent to me, and I didn't want him to just hand it over without getting any return. So I sent him 10 Legionnaires, or like a squad of Legionnaires, Mark III armor.
Oh, cool!
And he's painting them as Legion of the Damned, and it looks really really cool.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
I was saying that I now have a compressor again, like in good old LO times, and Mark Telesha was complaining I should go light because he wants the rant. He wants to hear the rant coming when the voice gets louder. I think that'll still happen. That'll work. I can still shout! It's not compressing that much. Still works! The neighbors get annoyed. Katie's probably asleep. She'll come in a second.
The compressor is just like this beast of a thing.
It's huge. So I found
it looks like it's a rack-mounted compressor.
It is to be rack-mounted. I found this at the music store in Cologne back when I was living in Bonn. They're not. When I bought it, they were not produced anymore. They were like just selling them out, and it's a tube compressor. So it's got it actually has other components.
Oh, analog.
But it does have 2 tubes, and it heats up this room. I've got the window closed and the door, and I'm sweating my ass off.
If it didn't, how would you get warmer sounds?
Exactly. Yeah. That's how it works. It's nice in winter.
Warmer sounds just mean your podcasters are sweatier.
The problem is it's now behind me. Ideally, I would have a rack where my feet are, so in winter I can just like warm my feet. That'd be good.
Oh right, yeah. In wintertime, just like put it under mount it to the bottom of your desk.
Oh yeah.
And then you've got like a heated seat.
Oh, that would be so good.
What is it with me deciding to try to heat things this episode?
I might do that. It might fit under this desk. I can I got the wooden desk. I got Katie's desk. I got rid of the glass desk. I might be able to drill that in here. That might work. Yeah, good idea. Right next to the fridge. Okay, and X1101 says, can we get an update on Fab's and Dave's podcast subscriptions? It's been a while since you discussed what you consume.
Yeah.
For me, it hasn't changed much. I also haven't had time. I'm commuting on the motorbike.
So you don't listen to anything.
Which is 2 hours back and forth, and I can't. It's too loud for podcasts.
Yeah.
The motorbike's too loud.
And you're shouting at all these Danes blocking your way. So
in my helmet.
Yeah.
Things that I have sort of like been listening to probably since the last time. So I used to maintain a list on my blog of stuff that I listened to, which I think I accidentally lost in like some update because I'm an idiot. But things that I would recommend, the Miniatures Monthly podcast from the Crate and Crowbar.
That is really good. Yeah, I like
where I steal all my content from.
I like that more than the Crate and Crowbar now. They're really good.
Yeah, and everyone else like steals it from there. Run Last Click, still like the best Netrunner podcast probably. The 2-Star podcast, who we had the podcast feud with, I still listen to them. Crate and Crowbar, obviously. I'd say Midnight Resistance, but they've got 1 episode left before they're retiring, which is a shame because like that's probably one of my favorite podcasts. Obviously, regular features. There's a podcast called Shot Reverse Shot, and that's about films with some guys from Sheffield/America. There's the Bugle. A podcast called All Units, which is Sean McTiernan from Dublin, who talks about thriller movies, and is like he's got like a 2-year project for that stuff. And then go back and listen to Chat. Very good. It's really good, but they've not put out an episode since May, and they're all really lazy. That's pretty much like the top thing. I'll write up a whole post about it.
We'll do that.
Links to RSS feeds and stuff.
Joe's got to run, so let's wrap this shit up. Just one more stuff. We had an email from Freddie Whitehead who found, I don't know if you guys seen this, so there used to be this thing on YouTube, what if the Emperor had a text-to-speech device?
Yes, and now there's a whole podcast of it.
It's amazing. Listen to it. It's great.
Yeah, it's really good. They chat about the White Scars for like 2 hours. It's great.
It is really well done. It is really well done.
Yes.
Awesome.
As Joe has to run, you can contact us through various means. You can send us emails, which will be in the show. That'll be at GNR@sixgun.org. You can tweet the show at Geek News Radio. You can tweet Joe at
Iosif Ward. That's IOSEFWARD.
And you can tweet Mike at
I'm at mstones, MJ, and that's 1 E in Stones.
Fab is
FABSH, Foxtrot Alpha Bravo Sierra Hotel.
Bingo. And I'm your boy Mega Slippers. That's Mega Slippers. We've got a Facebook thing where I don't post anything there anymore. There's a Steam group where no one's been trolling me recently. Discord's where it's at, realistically. Discord and Twitter.
Go there, it's good.
Discord.
That's why
Discord works.
As far as the cats, people talking about keeping shrimp as pets. It's really good. Come along. There's YouTube where there are videos of Fab playing PUBG.
Yep.
Also, I'm going to do some streaming, maybe.
That's it. That's all of it. Let's run away. We'll have another show in some time.
Hack the planet.
You'll know when
the
it's happening.
librarian fat boy.
That's going to be a thing now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's totally a thing.
Librarian fat boy.
Librarian fat boy. Now.
Primo Victoria.